We'll say riders ready.
Let's go, BZ!
Hello, welcome back to the channel. This is day 7 of Chicago Grit Men's Cat 3 Northbrook criterium today. So before we get into the racing here, yesterday's race finished up with me getting kind of caught up behind a guy who dropped his chain in the sprint and slamming on the brakes, dropping my chain and unclipping both my feet violently, landed on my top tube. Which was whatever. So I showed up to the race today, and during the warm-up I noticed my right shoe felt weird clipping in and out, and lo and behold, half of my cleat had blown off in that incident, which I discovered like 20 minutes before my race. So fortunately there was a bike shop on the course. Went in there and sort of got sorted out. The only trouble was they had, I'm on Look Keo cleats, and they had these like whack Welgo brand cleats that, shout out Welgo, you suck. So it felt not great, fine-ish. I did some kind of test sprints and stuff, and it seemed okay, but definitely suboptimal. Got my shoe back on my foot and lined up in time, which was fine. So anyway, about the course, the real defining feature, I guess, is this corner on the backside we've already been through. It is kind of a tight, like it's more than 90 degrees, and the exit really narrows. It kind of comes in on you. They put up a bunch of padding and barriers there, but it's just kind of a crash magnet. So you can see I'm sort of, I lined up at the front, but I'm just going ahead and falling back through the field. I'm thinking that today, there's Big Sprinty Boy, Big Z. He's kind of got the same idea as me, that today is a day to chill out at the back and do the absolute minimum. I was totally down for that because I woke up this morning, like, I don't know, I've been slowly, like, kind of losing a little bit of snap off my sprint, and, like, the fatigue is kind of setting in. Last night I had kind of a rough sleep and woke up feeling like, I don't know, almost hungover, like my legs were fine, but just not super great. So I'm thinking I'll use today as a little bit of a rest day and try to do the absolute minimum. Here's the corner I'm talking about. We're setting up for kind of floating towards the back of the pack. We're going to slow way down and take this pretty gingerly. I think, yeah, no one got caught up there, but you can see everyone comes together and we're down to like 15 miles an hour. So I'm going to settle into a pattern of like proper tail gunning here and trying to do the absolute minimum possible. So yeah, I'm sitting in last place here, let a gap open into the corner, and just let my momentum carry me through and try to do the minimum power possible. I found coming out of that corner, it bunched up so much, you still had to like punch it at 500 or 600 watts for a couple seconds. But then you just be right back in the draft and get sucked along for almost no effort. Same thing again here, holding a little more speed this time. No effort, 300, 400 watts. 500 for a second, not a big deal. Heart rate is chilling in the 140s, which is, I'm a relaxed guy here. Things are feeling good. I'm just going to wait until the end of the race, honestly. Following Big Z. He's got the same idea. I mean, he's getting up in the mix a little bit. I'm happy to hang out with the moto. Maybe this one guy behind me. If things get too spicy, I just let the gap go out on this section. You can start coasting like halfway down the straightaway and just totally recover. And if it doesn't close there, I mean, you can just close it up through turn 4 here. Just gonna do 0 watts, roll along, gap is closing, and then you can just pedal through this corner and take a nice little consistent smooth power, and you're back on the wheel. Honestly, that guy's doing a lot. I'm not interested in pedaling that hard, so I let the gap go again, and then, corner, if all else fails, corner 1 or 2, you kind of hit a little bit of a headwind. On the back straight eventually, it's going to close up after this like pedaling section, stay on the power a little bit. This is as hard as I was working all race pretty much. And yeah, you could always count on it bunching up after turn 2 here. Once you hit the headwind, you just do a couple pedal strokes and it fans out in front of you on the road and you're back in the ball game. So no big deal, just hanging out me and the moto. Coming into like midway in the race, it felt like a lot of my back of the pack companions were kind of abandoning the tail gun strategy, and they were really working hard. Look at this, sprinting. I'm not interested. You go ahead, man. I'll be back here. Yeah, just let a massive gap open. I don't know, this guy behind me, I can't tell if he's might be shitting a brick right now, like, oh god, there goes the race, but it just closes up so quick when you hit this corner. Yeah, from 5 seconds to nothing for 0 watts. So tailgunning for life. It's definitely the course for it. Doesn't work on every course, but this one was good times. Eventually, though, it's time to start moving up. So we're about 4 or 5 to go here. I'm just going to move up on this kind of tailwind start-finish straight. It's not going super fast. Put in a couple watts, make up half the pack. Pedal, pedal, pedal through this corner a little bit, and then there's a little bit of a lull at the front. I just stay on the power a little bit, and boom, we're in the top 10 wheels. Easy. Yeah, so then I'm just going to fight it out in the top 10 for the rest of the race and try to conserve and start mixing it up in the scrum a little bit. Definitely didn't want to be here all race. The race is on right now, so it's a little harder probably than it has been earlier in the race, other than some preem-laps and attacks, but yeah, you got to do a little more surging, just kind of jockeying for position, and coming out of corners, you got to really hit it hard to hold on to your position. Yeah, big wobble there on the inside. Just got the curb or something. That's why I didn't want to be up here. It was just super sketchy through that corner all race. It really would compress in. People would go all over the place. Like this poor guy right here just got kind of squeezed out on the outside. Boom, into the fence. He's been riding strong all series. I don't know how he finished up, but hopefully he hopped right back in. All right, so we're coming into 1 to go here. This is turning onto the start-finish straight. It's time to start thinking about how we're going to win the race. So I've done nothing all race. I feel like my legs are real good. I don't fancy my odds of coming out cleanly through that corner if I'm not first into it. And honestly, I think the sprint to get there is going to be possibly too hard for me with my sort of blunted legs. So I'm taking a nice line up the right side here. It's sheltered. Kind of roll through the front, still sitting down. I stand up to get a gap. That second noise was the me getting the chain back on. Just rocked it downshift, popped it back on there, fortunately, and it had good momentum. So I'm still in the kind of 7th, 8th wheel here. Up at some of the Indigo guys are lined out pretty good. I'm just gonna hit it hard and still stick with my plan of attacking. Unfortunately, it's kind of into a headwind here, so I don't have the momentum that I probably would have gotten around the sort of tailwind, crosswind corners, unfortunately. But yeah, just nuke it as hard as I can. Try to take a good line through this corner. I don't. A little bit wide there. Scrubbed a bit of speed, unfortunately. But yeah, just start sprinting as hard as I can. Unfortunately, in the rear view, you can see, I forget what team those guys are. Exert, I think, something like that. RJ. Strong kid, been racing really well all series, kind of in the mix for podiums most days, and yeah, he just drags me back himself, so bummer. Still going to sprint as hard as I can out of this corner, go to the right hand side where it's sheltered and the most direct line because it kind of curves around here, but yeah, he launches an okay sprint. Surprisingly, after that chase into the wind, his legs are still good and he dusts everyone. Kudos. Yeah, I got caught by, I think 7 people came past me, so rolling for 8th, which is kind of a bummer. Annoying that my stupid ass pedal ripped out. I feel like there was a chance that gap would have been bigger, and there could have been a potentially bigger result if there was a little more hesitation if I had gone earlier. You want to go with I feel like 1 lap to go is a move there, half a lap to go is just leading up the sprint, but at that point I was kind of committed. I don't know. Didn't want to fight it out in the corner. But anyway, we're going to fight it out again tomorrow. New cleats on the way from New Orleans. Yeah, going to be great. See you tomorrow.